So have you ever reached for food when you weren't hungry and then felt really guilty afterward? You might think it's about willpower or lack of discipline, but more is going on here. The truth is that emotional eating starts way before the food hits your mouth. So today I'm going to explain what exactly is happening, what's happening in your body, and what you can do about it to get to ease and peace around food and in your body. So your perceptions and your triggers have a huge impact on your body. Let's say, for example, your boss says something to you at work and this triggers you, and all of a sudden you find yourself eating voraciously or having that thing and thinking, oh my God, what just happened? So when your boss said something in a certain tone, it triggered an old memory, an old trauma in your body, and that shifted your nervous system to fight or flight, to a stress mode. That released cortisol, which then spikes sugar, and then you have a mood imbalance. From this mood imbalance, that's triggering emotional eating, because that's how you learned to sort of regulate and soothe yourself. So you can see it's not really what you ate, the apple, the chocolate, whatever snack you had, that's the issue. It's really about your body trying to regulate itself. So the deeper issue is how you learn to handle your emotions. Many of these reactions are really rooted in childhood. Emotional eating is a coping mechanism. It's something you would have developed when you were younger, when you felt an emotion and you weren't actually given the support to move through that. So having a parent that was also regulated to help you move through this discomfort, to really see, hear, and validate what you were feeling. And so you weren't able to move through those emotions, and you had to figure out a way to deal with them, to cope with them, and to help your body regulate itself. And food can be that. When we have food, it gives us a soothing, calming effect in our body. It's not really resolving our emotions. It's sort of putting a layer, a bandaid, a temporary calm for us, but it's still under the surface. And so it's not really about a lack of willpower or discipline. It's that you haven't learned how to be with your emotions and move through them, and you're relying on food. And this is all happening very subconsciously. It's happening very automatically. And so this brings me to the point where we have to look at why were we triggered into our emotional eating? What perceptions are we holding? So why did your boss trigger you so intensely to then go to food to have to calm or regulate yourself? What is this bringing up? What is this core issue that it's triggering in your body that you don't know how to move through? So how do you actually move through these triggers and not use food? So when I'm working with clients, we are looking for these types of triggers. We're looking at their life when they are triggered into this. And to be honest, a lot of the times clients can't connect their trigger to their emotional eating. And so we're really looking at the pattern. We're looking at when they're emotionally eating, sort of what situation they were in, who were they around, sort of trying to get an idea of what's triggering this pattern. And in order for us to see that you're truly emotionally eating, we have to be able to discern true hunger from emotional hunger. So we can tell, okay, I got triggered, I was eating, and I definitely was not physically hungry. And from there, I do a deeper process with clients that I teach them. We take that trigger and we learn how to use it to get into the body somatically, to get to the root of that trigger. This is not about going for a walk or journaling. So journaling can be part of the process, but the deeper work is done in the body. And it's not about, calling a friend or anything like that. There's a deeper pattern inside of you, and emotions live in the body. So we need a process to move through the body. And so when I'm working with clients, we're doing that on a body level with somatic meditations, and there are different tools that I use with it as well. And so from this process, so clients learn how to do this more and more in the moment. Usually we work backwards, but then they do this more and more in the moment, and they can start recognizing their triggers. And as we heal the root, the triggers don't come up. So if you're typically at a meeting with your boss and you get triggered, that actually can dissolve. I've had clients that they'd be at a team meeting and all of a sudden they'd want to eat more or emotionally eat. And there was something deeper going on. They felt insecure. It triggered some sense of they weren't seen or heard. And once we heal that deeper root, they were able to show up at the meetings and not feel any urge to eat, to emotionally eat. So I'm not saying that food doesn't have a role in your health or in your mood. What I'm saying is that we can use food to support ourselves, but we don't want to make food the enemy and think it's food that we need to control when this pattern is deeper than that. So yes, of course, nourish your body. When I'm working with clients, that's part of the process of resolving your emotional eating. A lot of the times clients have a diet mentality. They're not nourishing their bodies. They're actually restricting, and so that can create binging, not necessarily out of emotional eating, but because you have deprived yourself of nutrients for that day or calories, and your body is actually hungry. And so we're working on nourishing the body so we can clearly see when you're emotionally triggered and when you're actually hungry, and this creates more and more connection in your body. When you eat in a very nourishing way for your body, it does help to balance out your mood, and it sort of takes away the edge of a trigger. If you're eating in a very nourishing way and you're removing some of those diet restrictions that actually trigger you, that those can be triggers into your emotional eating, you're going to be more and more connected to food. So food does have a place. It does support our body. And especially if we're going through a lot of stress, we need to be nourishing our body because stress depletes nutrients from our body. So food does play a role in this. So let's explore this with an example. I had a client that every time that she was at work, she would reach for chocolate. So every time she interacted with her boss, she would reach for chocolate. And this became sort of this issue. She's like, why do I keep reaching for chocolate? I keep reaching for chocolate. And as we dug deeper into the root of what was going on, that was really about not being seen or heard as a child. She wasn't feeling validated at work. And it triggered this old wound that she had been carrying around. And as we worked on it in this deeper level, we started to resolve it, and she no longer needed to rely on chocolate to soothe that need, because we were actually meeting that deeper need of her becoming the person that validated her and giving that to the younger part of her to resolve this. And so from that, food doesn't become the crutch we rely on. Chocolate can just become chocolate if we have a desire for it, we're hungry for it. It doesn't have to be the band-aid trying to fix our emotional issues or our deeper core issues. And so after we worked together, that's how she started to feel at ease and calm around food, because it was no longer taking this place it really shouldn't be taking. Food cannot heal that deeper emotional wound. It's just a band-aid. And so once you release that, food can become food, and you feel so much more calm and at ease, at peace, and you're able to have a healthy relationship with food. And so if you're ready to resolve your emotional eating and you want to go deeper, I have a free guide called What Are You Truly Hungry For? In this guide, it's going to teach you how to discern true from emotional hunger and to start catching your triggers. And so this is the first step I give to all of my clients. And if you want to dive in deeper, you want more support and the deeper tools, you can find out more about the Emotional Eating Evolution Program. This is my 12-week container. And in this container, you get the step-by-step process. You get weekly office hours, one-to-one sessions with me, and the in-depth tools to really get to the root of your emotional eating so you can start feeling at ease and confident around food and in your body. So if you'd like to find out more about that, the links will be below. I just want to say thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please be sure to like and subscribe, and I look forward to sharing more with you, and I hope you have a great day.